And hello, we are live.
Oh, excellent.
Who are you people?
Fantastic. We are live.
And first of all, for those that are on the interwebs, if you're checking out this video, then welcome to the first ever ZMedia Entertainment Winter 2018 Q&A.
Yes. Welcome.
And let us go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Zach Elliott, aka Dr. Menace.
I'm Sean, the Fox in the Fedora.
What's up, guys? I'm Connan Bell, and I play Fighting Leaf on the interwebs.
And hello, the Tiger Wolf 55. Hello, Slate Cable. Hello, Carolyn Stewart. Hello, Elijah Perry. Hello, Bonsai Boys 617.
Yep, we got ourselves a good crowd tonight, and we're here to answer your questions. So to start off, we'll be answering questions that are involving the newest show that's actually going to be coming onto ZMedia sometime later this year, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, we're taking questions basically as they come in, so you guys are free to ask, what you guys want to ask in terms of Connan's review show, the Crusaders Reboot, stuff like that. Hello, Midnight Nim. Hello, Avion. And then we'll just, go from there, and whatever you guys want to ask, whatever you guys are curious about, we will answer them. So
all right, and I'll go ahead and start relaying off questions for you guys, since this is pretty much predominantly about both your productions, correct?
yeah, I guess so. If you guys have any questions about what the heck Zach's up to, then I'm sure he can answer some things. He can't talk about a whole lot, but there's stuff in the works for him too.
No worries. Which considering that this is mostly about your guys' stuff, we'll be mostly having about that. But if you guys have any questions for me, I don't mind answering as well. So anyway, let's get started with our first question. Coming from Slick Cable, he asks, "What is the show about?"
I'm guessing
He's most likely asking about the newest one that we got coming on, Guardians of Avalon.
Okay, so he's asking about the Guardians of Avalon, I'm guessing. All right, so the Guardians of Avalon is going to be full audio play, radio play. And it's about a amateur writer and his brother, and they come back home to their hometown after their uncle is mysteriously murdered, and they get wrapped up in this kind of weird, strange going on conspiracy, which leads them both to kind of rediscover the legendary island of Avalon, which is the same island from Arthurian lore, or the stories of King Arthur. It's a magical island, and it is where magic first appeared, first existed, and brought magic into our world, and has since disappeared. They rediscover it, and it's the writer, whose name is Connor. He turns into a werewolf, and he teams up with this ragtag group of freedom fighters to not only get home and find his brother, but also figure out what the heck was going on with his uncle, and save Avalon from a tyrant. So
You do.
Yeah, like you do.
But
The usual rigmarole. But we have we take some interesting turns. I got some surprises in store for you guys. I don't think you'll see these coming. So keep watching.
And as someone who actually has had a chance to actually take a look at the story, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what this final product can bring out. And now,
I thank you.
Of course. Now anyway, let's go to the next question, which is coming from Elijah Perry. He asks, "Hey, what are your plans for the Crusader reboot?"
Well, basically what we've got, to summarize it in its simplest form, we're going to do 4 shows. And these 4 shows, if you guys are familiar with the Marvel Netflix stuff, these 4 shows will kind of work in tandem with each other, but they'll be their own thing, if that makes sense. So you're gonna have the Guardians of Avalon, which is the first show. You're gonna have a show from Zach, which Zach is going to be completely in control of. You're gonna have a show from Connan, which is going to be run side by side with his review show. It will not be connected to his review show. This is a total restart from the beginning. We're not going to go back and forth. And then there's going to be a fourth show, which is where the big kind of inevitable team up will happen. So you're going to get that, basically. We can't divulge the titles of the two other shows in between, and we can't divulge the title of the fourth show yet. That will be coming as the year progresses. Let's just say this. By the time 2018 is getting ready to wrap up, you guys will know basically the whole plan, what we're doing here, and what the titles of all the shows are. And you'll be getting ready for at least the third show to come out by the end of 2018. We're also being a little slower in our creative endeavors, so it's not going to be like, let's just get this out, let's just move, let's just, keep creating content. This is a much more delicate process. We're casting, we're editing, we're doing rough cuts, fine cuts, basically applying everything that we went to college for to these stories so that we can make the best products for you guys. And audio plays, in my opinion, are much easier to work with because you don't have to completely pay attention like a visual medium where you're watching people act or watching things happen. You can go on a run, you can be in the car, you can be doing your homework, you can even be falling asleep to this. It's just, this is here for you to just listen to and enjoy.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but so you're saying that the stories here will actually induce sleep. So if I actually listen to these stories, it'll be enough in which that I listen to the story and I know that I will enjoy a good night's sleep.
I'm more
either sleep or nightmares.
I would probably enjoy sleeps.
I'm more so speaking from the perspective of I have had moments where I have fallen asleep to like full-on radio plays that have explosions and everything. Not because they were doing anything wrong or being boring. It's just that I was just like, you know what, I can just listen to this and I'll just eventually fall asleep. So
sometimes that just happens. Like you just listen to a really nice song and you just fall asleep to it because you just feel relaxed in such a good mood.
Exactly.
Which
fascinating conversation.
It is. Which let's go ahead and move on over to our next question. Which this one's actually for you, Leaf. Your question actually comes from Midnight Nem. They ask, "Hey, what movie are you gonna review next, Leaf? For your show, which is Kid Movie Ninja or You're Gonna Regret It, either show for the Fighting Leaf review shows."
All right. So to answer this, I'm going to have to use more than just one word right now. As for what movie I'm going to review next, it is I'm just gonna say it. It's Norm of the North.
Starting off with good old Norm, huh?
I have received requests for this movie both before and after my hiatus, and now I say that that's the next movie I'm going to be reviewing, but it's not going to be the next thing I'm going to be reviewing.
Oh, so would you like to disclose what will be the very first one you'll be reviewing on your return?
The very first thing I'm going to be reviewing on my return is actually going to be my very first ever review of a comic book.
Oh, would you like to disclose what's the comic book's title?
Yes, but everyone, just beware. For anyone who cares, it is actually not going to be Leaf who reviews the comic book, because he's a movie guy, not a comic book guy. The person who's actually going to be reviewing the comic book is gonna be someone else who you'll just have to wait and see who it is.
Well, look at that, creating the good cliffhanger. Well, if you want to see when it comes out, then make sure to check out Fighting Leaf's YouTube channel to see the next review. Let's go in.
Like you do.
Of course, like you do. Let's go on, move on. Let's of course move on to the next question, which actually comes from Avion. Avion asks, "Will this be easy for newcomers to watch, or would you recommend watching the classic series first?" I believe I'll give this question to you, Fox.
Okay, so the new Crusaders series is going to be a complete start from the beginning. You don't need to go back and watch our old work to get it. We will make sure that newcomers and oldcomers alike will be completely familiar with who these characters are, why they're doing the things they do, where they come from, and just the whole usual backstories and moving forward and character development and all that wonderful stuff that comes with it. So the old material, the old work we did, while that was fun, we're trying to take it a little bit more seriously now. We're trying to look at, actually getting ZMedia off the ground and making it into something. Again, Connan and I are out of college. Zach is nearly out of college, so it's time to start thinking about the future while we're still young, and go from there, and try to bring these things into a larger light.
All right. Which is also good to do, considering that we want to try making this show bigger and better than before, but we still want to try being able to understand how to make this story just great overall. And let's go ahead. And speaking of story, which clever segue I must say, the Red Wolf asks, how much is the story going to change?
I think Connan and I can both jump in for this one, and even you can, Zach. I'll start it.
Okay.
The story is going to change in the sense of we're not going to just retell the same things we've already told you. Some things you'll recognize, like, oh yeah, that's kind of like what you did back then, and then other things will just be like, nope, that's completely different now. That's going to be a whole new, a whole new thing. It's going to be, it's going to be recognizable, but it's going to have a different makeover. Let's call it that. Zach, do you want to jump in here for a second?
Yes, in terms of the story, I will say that it is going to have a major change up, considering that we've now had a chance to kind of refine our skills and also do a thing called go to college.
Yes.
Considering that we've actually had a chance to learn from people who actually know what they're doing, now we probably know actually what we're doing. But
spoiler alert, nobody really knows what they're doing. Everything is just throw it at the wall and hope it works.
That's really what it is. And to be fair, we actually believe that we actually feel very confident with our stories. Like, I actually feel very excited about the story that I'm actually working on. I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but you guys will get to know about it in the coming months.
And what do you guys think?
I guess it's my turn.
Yep, go right ahead, Connan.
So right now, my story has a lot of similar things, recognizable, but very clearly not the same. The big thing for me is that while not even remotely grounded in anything remotely similar to science or reality or even logic, there are going to be new systems for how each of my characters work, what their quote-unquote deal is. They're still going to have their personalities intact. All the people you know and love, they're still going to be themselves. Leaf is going to be Leaf, Husky's going to be Husky, Rugburn going to be Rugburn, etc., etc. But the mechanics of their abilities are probably going to be the biggest thing that change. But they're still essentially going to be themselves. That's a long way of saying they're going to do the same things they've always done, but what's going on under the hood is going to be canonically new and different.
Mm-hmm. With potential costume changes to avoid certain... because we're taking it in less of a parody route, whereas his reviews will stay the same. So you'll still see Rugbird in like a Sonic outfit and Jerry J in a Pokemon outfit, or Pokemon trainer outfit. In this new series, we're actually, making it our own things. We're slapping a copyright on there. It's ours, done. This is an original idea. That's it.
Just copyrighting that trademark and trademarking that copyright.
Yeah. Well, technically, by copyright law and all that complicated stuff, once you create something, it's actually yours. So
if we went by technicalities, yes.
Yeah, if you put it into a physical medium and it's an original idea, it's like your own thing, then it's your property. So that's how that works.
The point is, the biggest thing that I'm most excited about, the change that I'm most excited about, is the fact that I'm not – taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that you all love. I'm not taking anything away that and care about from the original Fighting Leaf lore, but I'm definitely going to be adding new things to it, including characters that you have never seen before and could not have existed in the original version of things that we do. Particularly my show.
And speaking of your show, by the way, Connan, we just got a question from Elijah Perry again, and he asks, Connan, are you happy to be able to wear that wolf puppet more?
Yes and no. Here's a fun story, guys. Part of the reason that I'm not starting off with a Fighting Leaf review is that, well, there's going to be a slight change to the non-Crusader side of things on account of a very unfortunate happening, or at least unfortunate to me on an emotional side of things. See, a lot of you who followed my show for a long time may have noticed a change in Husky's puppet. A lot of people said, "Oh, he repainted the Husky puppet," which I'm happy that you all give me so much credit, but that's not what happened. What happened was that I actually had to physically replace the original puppet because the original puppet was falling into disrepair. What happens with latex over time is that it grows brittle and inflexible, and Husky's mouth, if I were to move it very much more, would start to crack and break. That, unfortunately, is happening to the current puppet that I had been using immediately before hiatus. And so, that particular puppet is no longer usable for the show. And so, I am still going to have a puppet, but it's not going to be the same as the one before. Husky's personality is going to remain completely intact. However, I no longer have the option of using a latex puppet anymore because the manufacturer of the puppets that I've used hasn't produced anything else that I can buy and replace it with. And that made me very sad.
Yeah. So basically the puppet now is going more for a cosmetic change as opposed to a character change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, this one's actually going to be a big question for you, Mr. Fox.
Okay.
And that big question is coming from Shannon. Shannon asks, so, when is the Guardians of Avalon going to be released? Would you like to state it now or not now?
I really don't have a direct start date yet because of a number of reasons. The show is still in end production and heading into post-production. And I can say, like it said on the teaser, it's coming out in June. That's for certain. But as to what day in June, I cannot divulge a specific start date just yet. There's going to be another trailer, probably in April or May, and that will have the date on it. And I will say that it's going to be one of the Thursdays in June. One of the Thursdays. So you can narrow it down that way.
All right, we've narrowed it down to one of the Thursdays June. That's like, what, 4 or 5 chances now?
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got like a 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 5 chance of getting it right. Let's see if you guys can try getting it right. But in the meantime, we got ourselves a new question, which, this one's a good one. This one comes from Bonsai Boy 617, asking, knowing that they're still in the universe, what has changed about Leaf and Menace? Well, I'll have Connan start off.
So,
You can't divulge too much.
Leaf is still a ninja. As for what's changed about him, all I can really say is that in this new setup, he is not a reviewer of children's movies.
So what does he do in his spare time now?
He actually
He actually
Still
does. He actually does his
watching
job.
these movies.
He actually does his job. Yes, there you go.
He
Actually, yeah, that he does. He does do actual ninja things.
the ninja will actually do ninja stuff now.
There you go.
So yeah, that's all you have to. That's all you need to know about the new Leaf at this point.
There you go.
Well, there you go. There we know everything about Ninja. Ninja is confirmed. Checkmark that. Ninja confirmed. And now for Dr. Menace, I will let you know. He is still a doctor, and he is still a menace.
Boy, that makes sense. What a helpful answer to that.
Okay,
question.
okay. To at least state this is that, for the most part, his personality is almost the exact same. Then again, Dr. Menace himself is really just me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like, these two can confirm. It's just me. But
Yeah.
in terms of Dr. Menace, and in terms of anything that I change, really the only thing that has changed is that there are some particular abilities and powers that he had in previous iterations that will no longer be in this current variation. Instead, he's actually going to be much more technologically based.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What he said.
Using much more of wacky contraptions. And I will say, there is a particular ability that he does get, and also a particular way of how he gets it, but I cannot disclose it because not only is it not the right time, but also it's major spoilers.
Yep. So we're not going into spoilers.
So nothing to talk about that. However, I will disclose about that on a later date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what he said.
In any case, let's go ahead and go to this. Hey Fox, you got a question from the Slate Cable again. Slate Cable asks,
Okay.
Fox, would this series have a plot twist? Ending.
Ha!
Who do you think we are? M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
It turns out that she was pregnant the whole time. She was dead the whole time.
I will
Turns
say
out none
this.
of it was real, and it was all a dream Husky was having.
I will say this. The end of the show you may not see coming, but I was never sitting there trying to be I was never aiming for 100% plot twist. Plot twist just kind of happened on its own, and I think that's where the plot twist is probably going to end up something along the lines of, like, if it comes organically in script writing, I feel that means it's going to be a little bit better than trying to get a plot twist. Just like shoehorning it in there. Like, see, I got a plot twist in my movie. You totally didn't see it coming.
So basically, we know that it's going to be kind of the story that you set it up, and then the plot twist is that the villain was a robot the whole time.
I can't say if you guys will take it as a plot twist. I can't even call it a plot twist. Heck, I don't know what it is. You guys are just going to have to watch it.
Yep, which,
Or listen to it.
after all, the best way to say is just wait for it to come out. Please. We think you guys are going to like it. In any case, we got ourselves another question, and this one's actually going to be an interesting one to ask.
What's that?
It actually concerns the older Crusaders involving the new reboot. They ask, Caroline Stewart asks, are any other Crusaders like Alari or MD returning?
At this point in time, the characters of MD, Alari, Avian are not returning. We are keeping it kind of in a, like I said, 4 shows. 3 shows will go to the Crusaders solo endeavors, and then there'll be a 4th show that does team-up stuff. If one day we're able to find a way to reintroduce those characters, we will look into it, but right now there are no plans.
All right. Then let's go to our next question, which comes from Bonsai Boy 617 again. This guy asks, why exactly was Sean quote unquote deleted off the reboot universe?
Because I looked at it, I looked at the old stuff, and I was like, you know what, having me in there and not using like an alias or something just feels like I'm tooting my own horn too much. It's like originally it was just trying to, try out some review show stuff, and I didn't really feel comfortable doing it. So, in fact, I find myself more comfortable behind the scenes than I do out in front. I'll still act, and I'll still play characters or host shows or whatever, but being a main character, not really my forte. I mean, Zach here has created Dr. Menace, and Connan here is Leaf, and / Husky. So they've kind of created an alias. My alias has been. I've worked on my alias. I go by Fox now, which I kind of like a little bit more than just blurting out my real name all the time. So it's just, I just felt that I was like, this feels almost, even though I'm not acting that way, it just feels a little arrogant to have myself out in front, and I don't really feel comfortable doing it. So I'm just gonna pull back and go a different direction on that. So that's why you don't see there will be no Sean in the group when the reboot comes to full fruition.
To be fair though, it would also just be kind of weird just to have our actual names to be like, "Hello, my name is Zach, and I am Crusader." let us go on the great adventures, Connan. We are going to have the best time ever. Let us go fight the sun.
Oh, by golly, let us go fight it. Fight it hard.
Well, we just spoiled the next 5 seasons of Crusaders. I'm just kidding. We're kidding on that. There is no fighting the sun, or could there be? You'll just have to find out.
Punch. There goes the sun.
Well, end of season. See, that was quick.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Next question. This one's the hardest question that we've been given. Mm-hmm. Shannon asks, "Is Drake gonna be in this series?"
Yes, Drake 23 is in the Guardians of Avalon, and she will. I can't give 100% away, but there's a possibility that Drake will be showing up in other people's shows.
Why are you guys looking at me?
For a second, I thought they were talking about Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Why specifically Drake of the 99 Dragons?
Because that was the first Drake that came to my head.
I thought the first Drake you were gonna think of was Drake and Josh.
No, I don't think about boobs.
Wow.
Well.
Wow. I made a reference and a joke.
Wow.
Well, good. Now, speaking of terrible segues, I have a question exclusively for you, Leaf, because of that moment that you just gave to us.
Of course.
That question is, let's see. Here he is. Is this Leaf, coming from Robbie Charles? Leaf, can you review Max Magician: Legends of the Ring?
I actually saw that question scrolling up, and I looked it up immediately. And judging from its IMDb scores, and its a very reasonable price online, there's a very strong possibility that I could add it somewhere along the way. I'm only a little bit hesitant because it was made in 2002, which is I'm a very topical show.
A very topical show with Pokemon.
Shut up! I like Pokemon.
To be fair, Pokemon's always topical.
But yes,
Wow.
It actually does look like the kind of thing that I would love tearing into, ripping its throat out, and shoving it in the internet's face.
Specifically in that manner.
Yeah.
Specifically in that order, yes.
Well, there you have it. He's just going to do that for about 20 minutes.
Just ripping its throat out. First, I have to find it. That's the first 18 minutes.
You're on the internet. Well, you're on the internet. You'll find it.
Mm.
Pretty much got everything there.
Anyway, the next question is actually going to be a little bit interesting for me and Fox here. The question comes from Nin Unit, Nin Unit asks, "I liked your Nintendo movies." Hey, thanks. "Will the Nintendo Cinematic Universe come back?" No.
I don't even remember doing that. So
there
you go.
I think they're questioning about the old Nintendo videos that we used to make way back in the day. I think right when we got to college.
I don't even think that was college.
I think that was high school. Oh, for you high schooler, we will give you gold star for remembering something that's 10 years old now. Yeah. It is actually about 10 years old. My gosh.
Yep.
But to answer your question, no, we will not be doing Nintendo stuff. We're mostly going to be just sticking to kind of just doing our own thing, just because we want to kind of bring in a lot more original material. Because here's the thing, we like the Nintendo stuff. We loved working on it, but we feel like it's kind of just time to move on to doing much more original material.
are you talking about? We've moved on a long time ago.
Have we, Sean?
To be fair,
Have we?
it sounded like I did just say, like, we just did this, like, last year.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're out of that. We're doing we want to be more in the category of, original, our own stuff that we can, like I said, like the stuff that we can own, stuff that we can, do things with.
Stuff that we can merchandise.
Mm-hmm. Which, we got ourselves another question from the Red Wolf. The Red Wolf asks, are the dead characters from the last series going to be alive in this series, such as Jason Turner?
Zach, your character, so yes or no?
I will say this is that there are some characters that, either dead or alive from the original series, will return, but there will also be some that won't return. However, we will not disclose which characters will be returning and which characters won't be, because we want to keep you guys guessing and keep it a surprise.
But we will kill them eventually.
Only if we end the series with an Infinity War, where they just get blown away.
I mean, listen, they all die.
Yeah. Thank you, Hulk.
Hulk sad.
Aww. This just got too real.
Too real in this Hulk.
Which little side comment for you, Connan, by the by. The Tiger Wolf 55 commented saying, topical show, yet he reviewed Dark Crystal.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen anything scary since Coraline, so...
Fair enough. Which,
I mean, to go along with that question, though, I was just going to say the yes or no, but if you want to keep it a surprise, I'll keep it a surprise.
I kind of want to keep it a surprise because, like, that way then there's kind of that little shock surge, like, I wonder if this character's probably not going to come back. Then they see it in the trailer, it's like, oh! You know, that kind of reaction.
What was that sound?
That was the Wilhelm scream.
It's the same reaction that I hear every single time that someone saw Spider-Man makes their first appearance in the Civil War trailer.
Wow.
After all, like, you saw the reactions, just like whenever anyone saw Spider-Man, they were just like, ooh, kind of thing.
Zach, I'm gonna have to come back to this and just like record that scream and like keep it on standby.
Well, it's on the internet. It's on the internet now, so have fun with it. I have dug my own grave. Go ahead.
So yeah. But no, I'll let people know this. By episode 1 of Guardians of Avalon, you will start to get an idea of how we're shaping the world, and you'll start to see which characters are still around, because we will have interconnectivity between the shows, in terms of, like, maybe you'll see a cameo from another character from another show, but you will start to see how we're shaping the universe up as we continue on. Yep.
And next question we have is also from the Bonsai Boy 617. He has got ourselves a lot of questions. And next question we got is, since we do not know the lineup of the Crusaders, can we at least get a lineup of the 4 shows in total? Like, I think he's probably asking for show titles, which I think we also stated previously.
Yeah, sorry. What Husky said.
Good answer.
Yeah, Bonsai Boy, sorry. We're going to have to keep the show titles under wraps until we are ready to go into at least production with them. Right now, Guardians of Avalon, as I said, is entering post-production, and Zach and Connan's shows are still in pre-production. So we got a little bit of time before we can actually just say it. So I guess we could have another like ZMedia like Q&A type thing later on in like the spring when we can talk about them.
True. But we can make it kind of a seasonal thing. Yeah.
So a couple more months and we'll be able to start talking about these shows, and we'll create we'll have something to show you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question comes from Robbie Charles. Robbie Charles asks, what inspires you guys each and every day? Okay, that's actually a really good question. Let's go ahead and start the lineup. We'll go Fox, Connan, then myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Fox, what inspires you each and every day?
What inspires me each and every day? Well, I guess honestly, because it's like now that school's over and college is done, it's like, well, that's it. This is it, folks. I gotta make my own path now.
The real
Nobody else
world,
can,
the real world has begun.
nobody can really tell me, you have to do this or you have to go over there, unless it's an employer. But in terms of my own life, I'm in charge of that, and I've got to, figure out, what I want to do with it. And at this moment in time, I'm like, well, I see what I'm good at. I see my strengths, and one of the things that keeps me going is being able to utilize the strengths to make other people happy. Uh, that is like one of the things that gives me the greatest joy is when people take what look at what I create and or what I help to co-create, and then they just come out and they're just like, wow, that really brightened my day, or that was really cool, or it gave me something to listen to while I'm doing my homework, something like that. Anything that'll make a person or person's day or people's days a little brighter, a little better, stuff like that. That is what keeps me going. That is what makes me want to get up and start writing or creating. And it's also a personal satisfaction too. If I was told I can't write anymore or I can't create anymore, I'd probably go insane. I would probably break. I'd be like, I need to get this out. I need to get this on paper. I need to show people this idea that I'm turning into this physical medium, and that's something that keeps me going. And thank you, Robbie.
All right, then let's go over to you, Connan. Connan, what inspires you each and every day?
Honestly, what every single day is this is a little bit tricky because my brain is sort of like a wacky characters factory assembly line that just will not shut off no matter what I do. So I always have to put something together. And honestly, my favorite part has always been designing and creating fun and interesting characters. And now that I've put together one that I know resonates with people, Fighting Leaf and Husky together, it's honestly what keeps me going is you guys's comments on my videos. If you ever want to do anything nice, kind, and stuff for me, the best thing I can think of would be to just, encourage a friend to leave a comment on my videos and make comments of your own, because what I like more than the useful things like subscriptions and views and stuff like that. I mean, I need subscriptions and views, but what I like and appreciate most of all is hearing from you guys. I know I'm not always very good about responding back, but hearing directly, looking at the words that you send helps me know directly that you guys care about what I make. And that is the most important part of this project to me, knowing that you guys appreciate it.
All right, that's actually really awesome to hear. Like both you guys, like listening to what you guys like, what inspired you guys. Like it actually kind of touched me a little bit. Like that actually was really awesome to hear.
Well, what about you?
Let's see. The money.
Yay!
I like money.
Money.
For me,
I want money.
For me,
Where's
it is
money?
Capitalism. Capitalism is the only thing that makes me go. Nah, for real. For real, the thing that helps me get going is just helping someone out, and even if it's just like making a funny video on the internet, or just like making a funny little comment on my Twitter, or literally just having fun and just helping someone's day get better. Like literally, I just want to make someone's day better, and overall just help people out. Like I like helping people. Helping people is kind of the thing that I love doing, and the one thing that I love helping, and also I love also is entertaining, and that's kind of where this comes in. Is that I get to both help people. Like, if they're kind of feeling down, then I can say, hey, check out this funny YouTube video. And then people are like, oh, this is Menace? Oh, I'm not going to watch that. Then I'll say, no, watch this other video. It's under a different name, named Menace. Then he's like, oh, okay, I like this. And they'll never know it was from me. For real, though. But in all seriousness, I actually do like making some funny videos. I like making you guys smile and seeing your comments to me. It always makes my day whenever I see your guys' comments for me. The funny ones, the heartwarming ones, and even the dumb ones. And no worries. And no worries. The dumb ones don't appear that often. I love seeing the heartwarming and the funny ones. The funny ones always make my day. And that was a really good question. That was a very good question. Let's go to the next one. This one's for you, is going to be for you, Fox. Your question is this. From Carol Stewart. The question is, how many episodes will there be in Guardians of Avalon Season 1?
Every show will have 5 episodes per season. It's a manageable number. What?
Nothing. I knew that.
Right.
Connan's up to date.
Connan's in the loop, right?
I know things.
Every season, every show will have 5 episodes. It's a manageable number. If we had done things like 21 or 15 or 10 or 8, I feel that would be a lot more work and would take a lot longer to produce. So I was like, 5, you can tell a story in 5 episodes, and they'll be about 30 to 45 minutes in length. So you're gonna have a lot to listen to. Mm-hmm. So it's not gonna be like a really quick thing either. So yeah, and I can divulge this. We're going to have a set ending for this. We're not just going to be like, we're not just going to keep making it and then, with no direct ending. Every show will have 3 seasons. And then once it hits the 3rd season, unless there's like a huge demand to keep going, we're kind of going to go ahead and close the book on that there. So 3 seasons for everybody, 3 seasons for each show, 5 episodes each season.
Yeah, basically meaning 12 seasons altogether, and do the math, 12 times 5, that's a whole 60 episodes of content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which we're really excited to see where this is going to lead. And the next question that is going to be asked, which actually kind of maybe has already answered the question, but still something to answer. Bonsai Boy 617 asks, so since the Crusaders universe has taken that MCU route, so does this mean that some of the characters will get their own movies? Which...
Yes. We're doing Aunt May the movie. It's happening, folks. Get ready for it.
Todd Jackson's going to get his own movie. It is actually a movie series. They're called the Explosion Movies. There is Explosion 1, then there's Explosion 2, the sequel, then there's Explosion 2, the Return of the Explosion.
Well, we promised a long time ago a Rugburn Todd Jackson movie, buddy cop movie, so...
We have kind of teased that.
I'm still waiting for that, guys.
Who knows? Maybe those 2 characters could have a chance to interact with each other. In the future!
Yes, there you go.
Future.
The future.
Tiger Wolf wants his Talking Tree movie.
Tiger Wolf does. Tiger Wolf does.
I love that character
we'll have to find
so much. I can't even describe it.
We'll have to make sure to find a way that we can make it work in a 2-hour time slot.
Not really a talking tree. The movie. It's just the tree yelling at people as they walk by for 2 hours. That's the movie.
No, it's all in real time. So it only yells at him for
I'm a
in
talking
actuality.
tree.
It only yells at him for actually like 30 minutes of the movie. The other hour and a half just has him sitting there.
It's like the Game Grumps Our House video.
It's sort of like that. Which okay, this one's a good question from Slate Cable. Slate Cable asks, "Will there be snacks?"
Yeah, Connan. Will there be snacks?
I'm sorry, the Husky ate them all.
Well,
Yeah.
tell him to go buy more then.
Yeah.
Husky doesn't have money.
Give him money.
I don't want to give him money. It's my money.
Can you talk some sense into this guy? I don't get why it's so hard to give Husky money.
Oh, no worries. I got this. All right, Husky, let me talk to you. Husky, are you there? Can I talk to you about this?
Husky is a fictional character.
I think
he role plays with me, but then as soon as you come in, it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
Fine, no role playing. We're not gonna do a little fun thing for the audience.
That was the only joke I could think of.
All right. Then next question comes from Bonsai Boy 617, and this is a question strictly for Connan. It even says to Connan. This means you know that he's serious about it. And he says this.
Super for real serious.
Super for real serious, I know. Other than the reviews and the Crusaders shows, will we hear from other projects that you have worked on over the years?
The example he uses is a project codenamed Boy Named Perfect. And I had initially wanted that project to be... I had made announcements, plans for that particular project, which is supposed to be a graphic novel, to be finished summer of this year. That unfortunately will not happen. However, I am involved in projects outside of the Crusaders universe. For example, I was just recently participated in what's called the Global Game Jam, where I put together a little fun game with a friend of mine. It's called what was it? What did I?
That's a good title. I like the title.
That's not the title.
The title
name of the game is Slab Bulkhead Get Me Out of Here, where he's trying to escape an alien-infested space station.
Like you do.
Yes, but other than that, I am actually working on a more serious project, which I hope to put together in the form of a retail product for all of you people to enjoy one day. It'll be a card game, but not like a collectible card game. It's like you buy a one and done, maybe a couple of expansions later, but still one and it's playable. And it's a narrative card game, which is working title right now is Gargoyle Return, but that's all I can disclose about it for the time being. Other projects will have to go on the back burner until I can put together, my own team to put them together. And honestly, Crusader stuff takes priority over those other projects anyway.
Mm-hmm. Understandable on that. And now we are going to switch gears over to good old Mr. Fox here. Fox, your question comes from Slate Cable. Slate Cable asks, what time period will the Guardians of Avalon take place?
Modern day. There you go.
No other
no
other explanation. Just like that's it. No long-winded explanation about like the reason that we have it be modern day. I like that.
No, it's just modern day. With the usual. It's not like an alternate, dimension type thing where it's like, oh, it's an alternate Earth. No, it's based on, there's a reality to it. So,
Very heavy,
That's what you-
very heavy on that Arthurian lore.
Yeah, I mean, it encompasses both, you know, a fantasy side and also like it grounds itself in a sense that, you know, what we know to be real is real in this story as well. What goes on in real life, what you hear on the news, you know, what's happening in day-to-day affairs.
And yes,
you know.
this Earth does have a Detroit.
Darn it!
Yeah.
Still there. Give it time. Something could happen.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Wait.
RoboCop could happen. The remake.
Well, not this Earth.
Oh.
Because RoboCop is under copyright law. We can't use RoboCop.
Wait, that means we don't have classic RoboCop either. No.
No. We can have a cyborg officer.
Cyborg officer.
You mean
Yeah.
Todd Jackson.
Todd Jackson, the ultimate action
He's
superstar.
played by Todd Jackson.
He's
Okay,
he's
yeah.
played by Todd Jackson. Who else would he be played by?
I still want Pinocchionator.
I still want the Pinocchionator. And here's the thing. A little side note, little small tangent, real quick, is that I actually remember when the Pinocchionator was actually a little fun idea, just a little joke I made, and then like a few years later, How It Should Have Ended comes out with a video of like, what if Arnold Schwarzenegger with Pinocchio?
Go figure, right?
And
Go
I was
figure.
like, they stole my idea.
Curses, they read your minds.
How dare they read my mind and spent like what 6 months to animate that video?
There you go. There you go.
All right, which we have about 10 minutes left, so we got about enough time for a few more questions.
All right. Well, while the audience is figuring out what they want to ask, we do have some questions from people who couldn't make it.
Okay, then let's go. Let's just go ahead and spend the last 10 questions with the questions that were archived.
Well, if the live chat has any more questions, we'll get to those as a priority.
Of course.
Which just came through.
So here we go. Bonsai Boy 617 asks, exclusively to you, Fox, can you elaborate on the quote-unquote reality of the new universe?
Peanut butter is still a thing.
Well, yeah, basically, there's really nothing new, different from the reality you live in, to the reality that we're presenting. You know, there's not much I can really change, really. There's not much we've changed in terms of like, you know, how the world operates and how, you know, humanity and society go about, you know, doing things. Like I said, anything that goes on in the news, anything that goes on in day-to-day affairs,
Like selfie sticks.
yeah, I mean, like everything is still, you know, everything is still the same, you know, to a degree. So that's really it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Next question comes from the Red Wolf. Red Wolf asks, "Are you guys selling the merch? Can you buy the T-shirt?" Is what he's asking. Can he buy all the T-shirts?
I'll tell you this much. Eventually, there's going to be a Patreon with some nice rewards.
I want merch.
We do have a Patreon in the works. We're just kind of working out some fine tuning, just kind of getting some things to kind of make sure it all works out and looks fancy and schmancy and all that stuff.
And by that I mean I want to sell merch.
Yep. And Slate Cable is asking a very important question. Why is this stream so short?
Because we don't want it to be longer.
Yeah, we just wanted to keep it simple, so a 1 hour stream is really all we had to do just to answer your guys' question. But no worries, we'll be back a few months from now to answer even more questions. If you got more questions, who knows? Maybe you can go longer if you got more questions. And Avion actually has a question here, which would you like to answer this one, Fox?
Yeah, I see. Rest in peace, Toda.
Yep.
At least, like Connan said with his projects, everything is going to the back burner until the Crusaders can be completely finished, and we, you know, put our heart and soul into this. Crusaders has a set ending, and once that's done, we'll see where life takes us. If I have the drive to come back to it and people want to come back to it, then Toda will continue. In the meantime, I will be doing live streams on my channel every Friday, and I will have that under the Tail in the Air / Toda banner. So that'll be that.
And I'll also be probably getting back into streams as well, but this won't start for probably about another week or so. But you'll probably be catching the streams on Monday. I'll probably be making an announcement on Twitter, so just keep a lookout on Twitter. So if you want to make sure to keep up with those updates, go to @MenaceOfGames on Twitter to actually see the cool announcements.
That's another thing, and Zach just brought it up. If you guys want to find out scoops on what's going on and, you know, like what the heck we're doing and how the projects are going and how close things are to, you know, a new trailer or how the episodes are going, or if you want sneak peeks, all sorts of stuff.
Or just general nonsense that we do.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter. That is where we post a lot of updates and a lot of announcements. So if you want, you know, like if you want the scoop, that's where we're at, and that's where you can see what's going on. So definitely find us on Twitter. And Zach, what was your handle?
My handle is @MenaceOfGames, so you can find it there. And let's go and get the quick handles here, and we'll probably say them again at the end.
Yeah, I think they're also in the description of this video. Yes, they are.
They are in the description of the video, so just check out the description if you want to, but just in case, it's also @MenaceOfGames. I said it 3 times now, so hopefully you guys remember. Please remember, I post cool things! Sometimes.
Yeah, so just putting that out there right now. Want updates, that's where you're going to get them.
All right.
Let's do a little wrap up here to get some more questions out.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left, so I think we got enough time for about 3 more questions.
Yeah, I want to get to some of these that didn't that were asked by other people too.
Yeah,
so.
I made sure to hit all of them. The ones that were skipped a little earlier, I think I actually skipped, were involving the Toda.
No. There's other questions. There's other questions.
Oh, okay. Then do you want to go to the ones that were archived?
Well, I want to answer these other 2 real quick from Josh Philby and Bonsai Boy.
Okay, Josh Philby asks, what is Fighting Leaf's next review on? I think we answered that already.
We did, yes. And
okay.
Yes, it was Norm of the North, just so you know.
Yep. And then the biggest one, this one's actually a good one considering where we started. To all of us, will we have another Crusaders game?
No.
No.
I'm not making it.
I'm not. Hey, I'm not the coder.
Sorry to kind of, you know, if people were looking forward to another one, but because YouTube removed annotations, there won't be another like interactive adventure game.
Yeah.
If we have the chance to make a video game one day, you can probably that might be a possibility, but we don't.
Action
have
platformer with 3 different selectable characters.
Personally,
Connan, Fighting Leaf, and Menace.
Personally, I was kind of thinking more along the lines of doing an RPG.
Yeah, but that's if we can actually do it one day. Right now, we are in no position to do a game, so
yeah.
that's off the table right now.
Yeah,
you guys want to make a video game for us?
Well, Xander just asked a very important question, asking me, Zach, what if I forgot? If you forgot the handle, then sorry.
Well, also, Connan, they can't make a video game because, you know, intellectual property and all that.
Unless we can call it a fan game.
Technically, it can fall under fan game so long as it's actually for non-profit.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't make money, but make it good, or else we're gonna give it a terrible score.
We may say like 7 out of 10. Too much water.
Well, I mean, you know, they can make fan games and stuff like that.
I like water.
It's also a matter of, like, you know, but there's a lot of factors. Recommend no fan games at the moment.
At the moment, we want to focus on just getting our stuff made and just be able to bring you guys some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And
so let me get to some of these questions real quick before we cut this out. And these are mostly for Connan. So
okay.
Let me see here. Connan, you have any tips for people starting out on their channels? This comes from Brutus Mars.
For starting off on your channel, basically, yeah, you gotta stick with it. Stick with making regular content when you're just starting off. When you're just starting off, quality is important for once you already have your fan base. But when you're just starting off, don't drive yourself crazy making it perfect. Just make videos about stuff that you like or that you like doing, and once you actually have a sizable following, then you can take a little bit more time to refine your technique. By then, people will wait for you and come back. Just don't keep them waiting forever, like I occasionally do.
Another question real quick. Also from Brutus Mars. What's your favorite video? I guess on your channel? I don't know.
I think he's probably asking what's his favorite review that he did.
Possible.
Let's see. My favorite review.
Personally, my favorite review is the Rango video.
That was a good one. It marked the first time I made an official full-length review of a good movie, and that one was definitely an interesting choice. My favorite would have to be, oddly enough, and this is going to be a little bit contentious, but I liked my Lion Guard review, as it also marked a kind of interesting departure, as making it, I actually had an epiphany while writing the Mufasa's dialogue at the end about the purpose behind a reviewer. I realized, wait a second, what am I even doing? I'm not... When I realized that I'm not there to tell you guys what to think, but what to expect, it really helped recontextualize the way I think about critics and criticism. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then one more question from Brutus Mars. What's your biggest regret on your channel?
Tell us, Connan, what's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret was, let's see. There was this time back in 2010 when I started a YouTube channel, and it all went downhill from there. I'm joking.
I thought your biggest regret was going to be the day I met Zach.
I thought his biggest regret would be calling that one woman voiced by Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, no. My biggest regret would be Roku the Earthbender.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Good job there. Good job.
All right.
And, yeah, you guys can tell me in any comment section, in any of my videos, tell me what you regret me doing the most. I'd love to know.
Or on a lighter note, what did you like him doing?
Or whatever you feel like. I don't know. I'm gonna go play Street Fighter after this.
Okay, hold on. I want to get through these questions, and then we can call it.
We still have a few more questions, and we'll go a little over. We'll get these questions wrapped up.
All right. So you have a question here. Where did Husky come from? And before Husky, did you have any other like pre-concepts as to like who your sidekick was going to be?
Actually, to answer the first question, Husky is a little bit of a mystery because no one remembers exactly where he came from. We think that I won him at an old arcade pizza joint called Gaddyland that used to be in my hometown. And one of the prizes was a bunch of different animal head puppet things, and I picked up the wolf that was there. And so it languished in my toy box for several years before I picked it up, looked at it, and said out loud, "You will be very useful to me one day." And that was before I had ever decided to start a YouTube channel. And to answer the second part of that question, no, pretty much it was either, as far as sidekicks go, it was Husky or nothing.
Oh, there
because he was just he had so much. I saw so much potential for personality in him, and I just put him on my hand, and the first voice that came out of my head was this. Actually, it was something more subdued, like this. Remember when I was just starting off and I didn't really get too wild and crazy? But now I can do whatever the heck I want! Yay, practice!
Is it? And that's kind of the common thing whenever I see when it comes to online reviewers, is that they kind of start very reserved and kind of very shy because, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making internet video for you, and then like a year or two later, they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna review this game here." Wow!
Old Fighting Leaf was better.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from. Oh, by the way, that question was from Senor Fluffy.
Thank you, Senor Fluffy.
Then we have the next question from Jaden and his Christmas channel. Can you review the Nut Job 2?
It is on my list. It is very much on my list. It's just. Oh, the first movie was so boring. I don't want more boring on my show.
Connan, I will let you know ahead of time is that based on from what I've heard about the Nut Job 2, doesn't get better.
I would much rather have bad than just boring.
All right. Next question, speaking of which, is from TF2 Fan 101. Already answered the question about Norma the Morph, but what about the Emoji Movie?
I'm gonna wait for the price to go down because I am not paying $30 for that stupid movie.
Is it seriously $30?
It's still $30 on.
One.
It's still $30 on Blu-ray, which I would just.
You gotta be freaking kidding me.
For some reason, like it's apparently doing pretty not too bad on DVD sales. I think it's because, well, to be fair, it also kind of just came out at a good time right around the holidays.
Ugh.
And let me tell you, I paid full price for the freaking Last Airbender movie. I am not making that mistake again.
I think I had the better end of it. I actually bought Last Airbender when it was on DVD at Goodwill for like $2.
All right. Blue Moon Samurai asks, will you review more anime movies?
If I find the right kinds. I have a short collection of things that they're all in the same series with each other, and I would really they're so freaking weird, but in a way that will drive me the correct kind of insane that you guys will like.
Just don't kill yourself. That's the biggest thing.
All right. Let's go ahead and Lucas, the anime guy, asks, could you review Yu-Gi-Oh anime series or movies?
Not the anime series, unfortunately. I might get to a movie if there's enough demand for it.
I wouldn't mind helping out with the movie.
Of course you would.
I'm very big when it comes to the fate of the world being relied on card games. It's a very topical genre.
And I'm just sitting here like, hey, the abridged series is cool.
For me, I've grown up with the series. I play the card game. I'm still playing the card game to this day.
Mm-hmm. I'm still collecting Pokemon cards off and on because I just can't stop. Keep making more.
Zach, we've got 2 more questions in the chat, and then unless we get another one, I think we can call it there.
All right, then let's go and start wrapping up some questions. Slate Cable is actually asking me a question. Hey Zach, do you like cartoons? Because I have a world full of them. Yes, I do like cartoons. I am a very cartoon man. Like, it's actually kind of the reason why I actually love doing cartoons. In fact, I remember there was actually a point when I was younger thinking, I want to be an animator. Then I realized that my drawing sucked, so I decided not to do that. So, and in the end, I said, I want to be a mathematician. I was very young, and apparently I could still pronounce the word mathematician correctly. And and then I decided to do math. But then it was all thanks to a good old friend of mine here. He goes by the name of Fox and Fedora, who basically introduced me to the world of film, and also watching Back to the Future, which was a pretty cool film. those, thanks to those two, those were the things that got me into making movies.
Movies.
And here I am today, and I still love watching cartoons just because there's still a lot of stuff you can learn, because even though it's not being done by actual filmmaking, it's still really good for just seeing interesting characters and writing. So I more see it as good sources for when it comes to learning about characters or just good writing. And that's probably my good answer. And if you have a world full of them, then well, good to hear. Next question comes from Avion, asking, Leaf, you should review Madoka Rebellion.
And you should go jump off a cliff.
Hey.
A little harsh, but considering Madoka, yeah, I
am not reviewing Madoka.
Yeah, let's see. To Connan, will you review Fanworks?
Get ready for Sonetsu, everybody.
Here's the thing about Fanworks. They are not retail products. And thus, I don't actually believe that they necessarily fall under the same sort of critical scrutiny as things that are deliberately asking for your money in exchange for them. If you're just making something for the love of making something, then, and no one's paying you to do it, then there really is no reason for me to review things of that nature. On the other hand, if you're asking that I give you my money to buy something that you made for my entertainment, that's when I believe that it's more worthwhile to be critical.
Mm-hmm. As
far as Fanworks go, I usually just try to enjoy them for what they are, rather than make an official big production out of them.
Yeah. And I believe that actually wraps up all of our questions then.
Looks like that's it.
Yep.
So,
let's go ahead, and we thank you for actually joining us to the ZMedia Entertainment Winter 2018 Q&A. That is a long name.
Not as long as some of the other names you've come up with.
There, to be fair, Halloween Special Super Spectacular Show Guy thing is still my personal favorite.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be doing more live streams in the future. I will be live streaming on Fridays. Zach is looking to start live streaming on Mondays. We'll both be playing games. Look out again on Twitter. That is where we put the announcements. There will be at least one more Q&A or something like that coming in the spring. And then there's also going to be a Guardians of Avalon stream that will be happening in the coming months before the release of the show, so you guys can look forward to all that good stuff. So yeah, that is that.
Yep. And before we sign off, we want to first say thank you so much for giving us these questions, and we're happy to answer them.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
And with that, we're signing off. This is Zach Elliott, aka Dr. Menace.
Sean the Fox and the Fedora.
Connan Bell, who is also Fighting Leaf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Toodles.
Bye!